Hello, my name is Paul Snickle Fritz, and I will be giving this computer-generated presentation on my choice technologies for apps-free and reduced application processing software. I only ask for one thing. Please, don't give up on me. Because before I'm through you are going to be so sick of my voice you will want to scream. However, in spite of these annoying shortcomings, I think you'll find the information very informative. So please bear with me. Hello, Mr. Food Service Director. First, I would like to thank you for viewing this presentation.
Hello, Paul. I am very interested in seeing what you have to offer.
Okay, now, I want to talk about our FAR apps-free and reduced program, which completely automates all aspects of application processing. If you are considering a program that is easy to use, instantly determines the student's meal status, automatically produces verification and notification letters in English or Spanish, then automatically flags the applications for verification by the random or focus method, and is compatible with third-party scanning information capture systems, then the FAR apps program is probably what you're looking for.
Well, that sounds good, but frankly, I have to admit that I'm a little bit skeptical.
Well, I understand, but I'll let the product speak for itself. Okay? First, I would like to show you how easy it is to use the program. You'll notice that FAR apps is laid out in a logical fashion with big user-friendly buttons.
Yes, they are large buttons.
Okay, now, I want to show you how easy it is to enter an application. And I simply do this by clicking on the Applications button. Now we know that your applications probably look similar to this one. Am I right?
Yes, that does look familiar.
Well, you notice that we have broken out the data entry screen in sections. It's just like the sections on your application paper form. We have a section for the signature or guardian information. We have a data entry section for household members. And FAR apps has a data entry section for student information. Do you see how having the data entry form in FAR apps mimicking the paper application form could help?
Oh gosh, yes, that would be helpful. But I'm assuming that you have to enter all the information. And frankly, that's what I did not like about some of the other programs I have looked at.
Well, I know what you mean. Unfortunately, there really is no easy way to get around it. But I think you'll see as I go through this demonstration we have truly minimized the data entry requirements. Okay, now I want to enter the data from the paper application. So to start, I would click on the Add Member button. And this opens the household member information window. Now, I would simply fill in the blanks for each one of the fields for the signature information.
Before you go any further, what is the email address used for?
That's a good question. FAR apps allows you to mail verification and notification letters. I'll be showing you this a little later on. But we recently added the email feature to allow you to email the letters rather than having to use the post office. I'm sure that's a feature you would want in your program, right?
Well, it does sound interesting.
Now, I want to point out something that can really save you some time. Do you see at the top where it says signature information?
Yes, I do.
I think you are going to like this next feature. I have entered the signature social security number. Now watch what happens when I press the tab button. Do you see what it says?
Yes, it says the social security number matches an existing application.
You're right. Rather than having to key in all the information on the new application, you can simply highlight the name. And then click the Edit Existing button. This automatically opens the application on file with all the data already filled in. So at this point, you would simply edit the application and add any new information.
Well, if I understand what you just did, I would need that application already in the program for that to work.
You're correct about that. But the point I want to stress here is there is no easy way around initially building the database. But I think you can see that the second year data entry can be cut down drastically by simply editing the old application.
You are right about that. I can see what you're talking about.
Well, this brings up another point. A lot of our competitors' programs force you to type in all the household members' names listed on the application. In fact, you really don't need their names, just the income and how many people in the household. Am I right in this assumption?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, watch what happens when I click the Add Member button. It opens to the member information screen. Rather than entering their name, I simply enter any income for the household member. Then, simply click the OK button. Do you see how it added a household member with no name to the form?
Yes, I see that.
Now, to add any additional household members, you would simply repeat the same procedure for each household member. Don't you think that feature could save you considerable data entry time?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about entering the student information. Again, the same procedure is used, except this time you click on the Add Student button. And this opens to the student information data entry form. Again, you would simply fill in all the blanks on the form for the student listed on the application.
Do you have to do that for every student on the application? That would take too much time.
Well, I will agree with you on that. That would take quite a bit of time. Do you see the list of students in this box?
Yes, what are they for?
Well, one of our app's outstanding features is its ability to import the district's student enrollment database. This is the list of students who are sitting on the right from the enrollment import. Rather than entering the student information in the form, you can simply highlight the appropriate student from the list. Then simply click the Select button. Do you see how this automatically filled in the fields for the student with all the appropriate data?
Yes, that looks pretty good.
Well, it even gets better. Once you have built the initial database for the first year, the following year all the student information is automatically updated from the district's student enrollment import.
Are you saying that we wouldn't have to do anything to the student information?
That's correct. All the students' records will be automatically updated with the appropriate data. Obviously, these outstanding features eliminate the costly redundant data entry concerns that you have. Am I right?
Well, it sure looks like it could help speed things up. What happens if I made a mistake?
Oh, this is no problem. You can click on the student's name and then click the Edit Student button to open the student information form and correct any mistakes there. Or click on the member's name and then click on the Edit Member button to open the household members form and correct any errors made there. Or if you need to change something in the signature member field, just click on the field to be changed. And this will open a dialog box for that field that you can easily correct an error in. It's just that simple.
Well, that does look pretty straightforward.
You're right about that. We have worked very hard to make it as simple as possible. Now, we also know as you're entering or reviewing applications, sometimes you need the ability to make the application temporary. Am I correct?
Yes, we would need to do that.
Well, I think you'll like this next feature. When I click on the Make Temporary button, FAR Apps opens a temporary status dialog box. You can easily set your dates with a status, and the program tells you who authorized it for an audit trail. You can also type in the reason for making the application temporary, like maybe the signature member is out of work due to a strike. Again, just fill in the blanks and click OK to update the status.
I'll admit that doesn't look too hard, but will I have to go through each application at the start of the school year and make them temporary?
Oh gosh no. FAR Apps has a real simple solution for this. We know that at the end of each school year that the application statuses will be the same for the first 30 days of the new school year. FAR Apps allows you to automatically set all applications to a temporary status for the first 30 days of the new year. And of course, when you process the new applications at the start of the new year, each of the application statuses could be different.
Do you have some kind of report we could run that tells the status of the temporary applications?
Yes, we do, but better still. This is the information screen that is displayed every morning when you start the FAR Apps program. It tells you which temporary applications have expired. Now, your next action would be to come to a final resolution of the status of the application. Again, it's an information window, or some customers have called it a to-do list, that appears automatically every day. In fact, many customers have told us that this feature has become invaluable to them.
Well, that sounds like it could be very useful.
Yes, we know it is. Plus, you'll notice it also posts a note on the application in red so you can see at a glance that this application has a temporary status.
I like that.
Along the same lines, you can add your personal notes to the application by clicking the Add Notes button. Or you select the application for verification by clicking on the Verify Application button.
Wait a minute. Does this mean I have to go through the applications and select which ones I want verified?
Oh no. FAR Apps automatically selects the appropriate applications for verification by the focus or random method. I'll be showing you this a little later on. Again, this is a manual process that gives you the flexibility to easily add a questionable application as you are entering or editing the application to the ones automatically selected for verification. I think you would want a feature like this in your program, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
You know, another concern that sometimes comes up with an automated system is how do you know who added something or edited something, which obviously could easily affect the mail status of the application.
I was wondering about that.
Well, watch what happens when I click the View Apps History button. It opens a history dialog box that allows you to run a complete history report or audit trail for the selected application by date or over date range. This outstanding report provides a complete profile or audit of every transaction that has occurred with the application.
Boy, I can see how that would really help when we are being audited.
You're right about that. We have had many customers tell us this tool becomes invaluable as it tells the complete story of the application. You know that this brings up another point. What do you do with the original paper application?
We file them away.
Well, this next feature can really help with retrieving an application, rather than having to go through the file cabinet looking for an original application. You can simply press the application image button, and this will retrieve a copy of the original application for your review.
How did you get that copy in there?
Oh, this part is so simple. You can scan the application using an inexpensive scanner and save the file as a PDF. Then FAR Apps allows you to link the scanned application to the application you have created in FAR Apps. At this point, this really becomes an electronic filing cabinet.
Does this mean that I can scan the information into your program so you wouldn't have to type in all the information?
No, it doesn't work that way. Our basic setup just allows you to link a copy of the scanned image to the application you created in FAR Apps. However, we can integrate with any third-party text scanning company that does do that. In the past, we have worked with Image1, NCS Pearson and MCS Software for scanning in the text.
Why wouldn't we want to do that? It sounds like it would save a lot of data entry time.
Well, unfortunately that's not really the magic cure to eliminate the data entry problem. When you scan handwritten text, the ICR software normally can only interpret it correctly about 50% of the time. So as a result of this, you spend about half your time entering the information the text scanners couldn't read. I have seen so many applications that I couldn't read the handwriting, so how could you expect text scanning software to get it right?
Yeah, you're right about that. Sometimes I think they write worse than doctors. But I would like to know how much the text scanning programs cost.
Oh gosh, that really depends on the vendor and how many workstations you would need. But to give you a ballpark figure, anywhere between $7,000 to $15,000. They're not cheap. But keep in mind that we will work with any text scanning vendor, and FarApps is already set up for text scanning integration if you decided that's the way to go.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay, now the next feature that I want to talk about is sending out letters. FarApps can automatically produce verification and notification letters, which I'll be showing you in just a minute. But we know from working with users that in a lot of cases you want to send out an individual household benefits letter. Rather than having to go to the letters section of the program to generate the letter, you can do it right from this screen. Now, to create the letter, you would simply click on the Save and Print Letter button. I think you can see how that could save you some time, right?
Well, if it lets me do it on the fly, it probably would.
Oh yeah, we know it does. In fact, most of our competitors' products force you to generate all the letters. They won't let you do it on demand.
Oh really? I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, now, as part of the diverse application screen is what we refer to as your simple application profile box. It tells you the application number, eligibility status, household size, and monthly income. Now, I want to point out that this data is updated in real time as you enter or edit the application.
What does real time mean?
That's a good question. Real time means that every time you change anything on the application, FarApps instantly changes all the appropriate data and instantly computes the eligibility status. In fact, with most of our competitors' products, you have to generate reports before they can tell you the eligibility statuses. I think you would rather have the information instantly available, rather than waiting until the end of the day, wouldn't you?
Oh gosh, yes.
Now, FarApps flexibility allows for displaying on the same screen the dates you created and edited the application, along with whether they are receiving TANF or food stamp benefits. Now if it's a foster child, it will be noted and the application will be for the foster child only. You know, earlier I showed you how to create on demand a household benefit letter.
Yeah, I think you clicked on the Save and Print Letter button.
That is correct. Now, do you see where it says English?
Yes, what does that mean?
Well, simply stated, FarApps prints the letters in English, but it also allows you to set the system up to print the letters in Spanish. Watch what happens when I click on the English hyperlink. It opens to the language dialog box, which allows me to change the letter format from English to Spanish.
Does this mean that if I change that, all the letters will print in Spanish?
Oh gosh, no. That's the beauty of it. The language is application specific, or to put it in other words, when you print a batch of letters at one time. I'll be showing you that a little later on. FarApps knows based on this setting which letters to print in English and which letters to print in Spanish. This is a very useful feature, don't you think?
Yes, it does look like something we could use.
You're right, most people do like that. Now, if you need to work with another application, in fact, most of our competitors' programs force you to leave the data entry screen to retrieve an application. Well, this is not the case in FarApps. Watch what happens when I click on the Find Applications button. It opens to a search dialog box, which allows you to find an application in just about any fashion you want from the data entry screen.
Well, it certainly looks like you have quite a selection.
Yeah, you can look up something just about any way you want. Now, I think you will agree it's easy to see how the FAR app's data entry and editing process have been streamlined to minimize data entry. Again, you have all the fields available for data entry or editing, as well as a host of other useful functions, all on one easy-to-read screen. And the best part is the screen is laid out similar to the federal application paper form.
No, using it really doesn't look too difficult. I do have a question though. How do you handle direct certified students?
Oh, FAR apps really shines in this area. First, you can import the direct certified student database that your state supplies. Then you click on the Direct Certified button on the toolbar. And this opens the Direct Certified Student Information form. From this screen you can edit, delete or add new information.
Well, that brings up a question. Earlier you were talking about letters. Does your program print direct certified letters?
Absolutely, and I'm going to be showing how easy this is to do in just a minute. Okay. But first I want to explain how FAR apps checks the status of a student when you are putting them on an application. Do you remember when I was showing you how to add students to an application from the enrollment database?
Is that where you were just selecting them from the list?
You're right on target, but watch what happens when I select this student. It says the student is on the direct certified list. Do you want to remove him or her from the direct certified list and put them on an application? So I think you can see how FAR apps automatically does the matching for you, thereby eliminating hours of manual labor dealing with direct certified students.
I like that. It has always been a hassle dealing with the direct certified kids.
Oh, I certainly agree with you about that. Some customers have told me it's more trouble than it's worth. Now, I would like to show another one of FAR apps' many ways to expedite the lookup procedure. Earlier I demonstrated how easy it was to look up an application by using the Find button on the application screen.
Yes, I remember that.
Well, rather than having to go to the application screen and use the Find button, we have created a Student Lookup button on the main toolbar to speed the process up. To find a student, you would simply click on the Student Lookup button. And this opens the Find Account dialog box. Now, at this point you would simply type in your search criteria for looking up the student. But now let me ask you a question. Do some of the students on your applications have a different last name than the signature or guardian's last name?
Yes, that happens all the time.
I'll bet it's kind of hard to find the application without doing a bunch of research and cross-referencing.
You have no idea.
Oh, I think I do. Now, as an example of FAR apps lookup flexibility, let's say I want to find Charity Smith. I do this by typing in the name and clicking the OK button. Now, you will see a list of Smiths.
So you're saying that I don't have to put the first name in?
No, you don't, but if you want the list of Smiths narrowed down to the exact name, you can put in the first name.
Well, what happens if we have several students with the same name?
That's a good question. Do you see the birthdays in the list?
Yes, I do. Now I get it, the birthday separates the students.
Hey, now you're getting it, but let's take it one step further. Let's say I need to see the application for Charity Smith. I simply highlight her name in the list and click the OK button. FAR apps then opens to the Student Lookup screen showing all the information for Charity Smith. But I still need to see the application, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Do you see the application number in blue at the bottom of the screen?
Yes, I do.
Well, watch what happens when I click on it. It takes you to the application that has Charity Smith on it. Do you see that the signature name on the application is different?
Yes, it says Jones.
I think you can see why many customers tell us this feature is invaluable.
I will admit that feature sure looks good.
Well, it is good. And the key here is you have the best of both worlds. You can look up applications from the application screen or use the student lookup button. It's just that simple. Okay, now we know that one of the most difficult and time-consuming aspects of free and reduced application processing is creating and maintaining the data from verification and notification letters. Am I right?
Yeah, that always takes a lot of time.
Well, with all that being said, I think you will appreciate how FarApp's Letter Wizard completely automates this process. By clicking on the Letters button, you will open the Letters Wizard. First, you'll notice that all the appropriate selections are displayed on one easy-to-read screen. You can easily produce letters for individual or all applications by date or date range.
Are the letters designed so you can mail them?
Absolutely. You'll notice at the bottom of the screen it says window or non-window envelopes. That's another nice thing about FarApps. It gives you a choice. Now to go back a step, do you remember when we were adding a signature member to an application and there was a field for entering an email address?
Yes, I was curious about that.
Well, if you had entered an email address for the signature member, you can email the letters from FarApps rather than using the post office.
That's interesting. I can see how that would save quite a bit of money on postage. But can you show me the kind of letters you can generate?
As you can see, FarApps has a host of USDA template letters.
When you say template letters, what do they say?
That's another good question. Watch what happens when I click on the letter editor button. The program automatically opens to the letter editor screen. First, I want to stress that we highly recommend that you enter your own text for the body of the letter. These template letters are just examples.
Well, how do you do that?
Oh, this part is easy. First, you would select the letter that you want to create or edit from the drop-down list. Then you would click in the body of the letter and enter your text. It's just a basic word processor. Now that doesn't look too difficult, does it?
No, it looks pretty straightforward.
Do you remember earlier when I told you we could send out letters in Spanish?
Yes.
I think you are going to be surprised at how easy this is. You just simply select the letter you want to change, then select Spanish from the drop-down list. Then click in the body of the letter. Do you see what happened?
It converted the English text to Spanish.
I don't think we could have made this much easier, do you?
No, that looked simple enough.
Now, we have had many customers tell us this next feature really is a lifesaver, especially if you're going through an audit. You know how you have to keep a record of verification responses. In fact, how are you doing that now?
Oh, we are putting sticky notes on the applications and putting them in a follow-up folder.
Well then, I know that you are going to really like this next feature. When you click on the verification button, it opens the verification editor form. You'll notice that FarApps has automatically populated the form with the data from applications selected for verification. It shows the dates the first notice and the second notice were sent along with the response dates. It allows you to easily enter in the form the appropriate data that is required to support an audit. It's kind of like having an electronic memo pad.
That's great. I could throw away my sticky notes and follow-up folder.
You sure could. And after you have finished with the verification process for the applications, you have a complete audit trail of your required activities. That's why we say you'll love it during an audit.
Well, again, that does look good, but how do you select the applications for verification? Not one by one, I hope.
Oh gosh no. What method are you using now for verification, sampling, the focus or random method?
We are doing the random method.
Again, FAR-APS allows you to generate verification lists both ways, either focus or random, but you're going to be amazed at how easy this is. All you do is select verification on the toolbar. Then highlight Generate Verification Lists, and then select which method you're using. It's just that easy.
Well, I will admit that does look easy enough.
It really is. Now, the Reports Wizard is often described as one of the most useful features of the FAR-APS program. To activate it, you would simply click on the Reports button. And you'll see the Reports Wizard on one big easy-to-read screen.
Well, in looking at the screen, is that the only report it runs? The application list?
Oh no! By using the Report Wizard's drop-down list, I think you can see there's a host of necessary reports. Plus, you can easily run the reports by an individual application or all applications, by date or over date range. To show you how easy it is to use, let's say I want a student list for all schools. I would simply select the student list, and then click on the print button. This will automatically output the report to screen, showing the student's ID number, name, application number, mail classification, the date you created it, grade and homeroom, and the status.
Well, that's a nice report, but we need a printed copy. Can you do that?
Oh sure, all you need to do is click on this print button to get hard copy.
Well, this brings up a question. Can I get a report of students broken down by school?
Absolutely, but first, let me get out of the way. All you do is deactivate the All Locations button, and then select the school you want the report for, and then click the print button. I don't think it requires rocket scientists to do that, do you?
No, I don't think so either, but what if I only wanted the free and reduced kids on the list?
Oh, that's no problem. In fact, you have the ability in FAR-APS to filter out the data you don't want in a report.
What do you mean by filter out data?
Do you see the categories listed under Report Filters?
Yes, I do.
Well, to get the report with only the free and reduced students, you would simply deactivate the other categories. That means, when you run the report, only the students with activated categories will show on the report. In this case, the free and reduced students. Is this what you were looking for?
Yes, I think so.
Now, this brings up a question. Have you ever needed to run a report of free and reduced students by grade level?
Yes, in fact, recently a principal wanted a list of the free students in the 3rd grade at his school.
Were you able to give it to him?
Yes, but it was a lot of work.
Well, then I know you'll like this feature. Do you see the grades at the bottom of the screen?
Yes, what do they mean?
This means, in addition to filtering the report by mail status, you also can filter it by grade or over a grade range. Now the reports will be filtered down to only those students meeting the grade selection criteria. I am sure that these type of features is something you would want in your system, right?
Oh yes, that does look good.
Well, it even gets better. The reports are formatted to come out in certain order. Let's say you want to change the sort order of the data for a column on the report. Again, you can do this right from the same screen. You simply highlight the field name in the list and click the up arrow or down arrow to change the sort order for that field.
This brings up a question. Can you transfer the information over to another program?
Absolutely. FAR-APS uses the industry leader Crystal Decisions Report Writer, which allows you to automatically export any report data in a host of different file formats. As an example, you can easily export the data to Excel or to an Access database.
I like that. We are always doing something in Excel.
I am sure you're correct about that. Now, I think you can see that FAR Apps Report Wizard provides a comprehensive set of tools and numerous reports you would expect from a quality software program. And again, I know these are the type of features you would require in your system. Am I right?
Yes, you are correct in that statement.
Now, in closing, I think you can see that FAR Apps is really easy to use and how it could be an asset to any food service department. Not to mention the ease of creating letters and generating a host of meaningful management and government reports. So this is why we state that FAR Apps is the next generation of application processing software. Now, what you are seeing is a diagram of an integrated meal accountability system. Obviously, the presentation you have been viewing is on our FAR Apps free and reduced program. The point I want to make here is our FAR Apps program seamlessly integrate with our Comms Pro Central Office module and the school site's email point of sale system. This flexibility allows you to easily create a total integrated system. Last but not least, I want to thank you for watching this presentation. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us.